All right, hey everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Tap. I'm one of your hosts, Buzzard, aka James McGarren.
I'm Telperion, aka Oliver.
I'm Jeff, aka Funga. Which comes first?
I just followed suit.
Oh.
You get the idea.
It turns out Hearts led, so...
I'm Roger Clark, at Roger Clark on Twitter.
It doesn't really matter which order you go in.
No.
I'm Dalton, aka Blue Chow.
Welcome to the Arrow Parallel, where names don't matter anymore.
Everything's made up.
Everything's
and the
made
names
up.
don't matter.
We're effectively interchangeable anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's literally 5 white guys sitting around a microphone.
And we're here to talk about the Dance Dance Revolution.
Yes.
Actually, no, we're here to first talk about Bishi Bashi. Because we really wanted to talk about it because we saw this funny thing on Twitter today where there's a new version of Bishi Bashi where it looks like it's a reincarnated MUSECA cabinet.
Yeah, basically. So for people who don't know what Bishi Bashi is, this is like lightly relevant to Konami and music games and stuff, but it's like a WarioWare, but an arcade. So there's like mini games that you play, it's multiplayer, and I guess there's a new version that's location testing right now. And they have like the MUSECA spinner as one of the buttons, which is really strange. And like the bottom of the cabinet is basically the same as MUSECA. And so it's like, if MUSECA not being at KAC was any indication that the game's dying, then here's your confirmation.
Well, Bishi Bashi for KAC 20.
Oh, dude, that would be so
Oh my
hype.
god.
So Bishi Bashi is real fun because it's on eAmusement in Japan, for real.
Well, first we should tell people what Bishi Bashi is.
That's what I just did.
It's like a Wario. It has 3 buttons, and you mash them
You didn't
very
really say what
fast.
the gameplay is like.
No, the game, it's like it's mini games like WarioWare. So like
Yeah.
there's,
Yeah.
you know, it'll tells you to like take pictures of cute girls from 2DX.
And you have to like hit the buttons in
Or yeah, like you
certain
have to like
orders.
punch robots, or like it's like they're like 30-second mini games.
Yeah, and it is the loudest game.
It's really loud.
It's like if 3 people were playing Poppin' at the same time.
Yeah, because they're popping buttons.
Yes.
And now the new one has a MUSECA spinner.
So
So
basically, it's like the runoff from the rest of the music games just get put together.
It's good. I
It
mean,
has
like
DDR music.
it
in
has 5 Hammer, FFFFF, whatever that song is called. We were actually just talking about what it's supposed to, like how you're supposed to vocalize
Hard
that song.
PF?
Yeah, that's the genre, but yes.
Oh.
It's 5-hammer. It's 5-hammer.
It's Hella Force.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
It has Candy Star. It has a couple.
that's right.
Yeah, and a couple, like it's like in the backgrounds for some of the mini games. They play Beatmania music, which is really fun. And there's like the 2DX girls are in there, and it's really really fun. I really hope it comes to round 1. That'd be really sweet.
Just nowhere
Far away.
far away from DDR.
Yeah.
please.
Put it over by like the quick drop and
No,
Yeah.
Grand Piano Keys is also loud.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
just put those two together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not as loud.
I just want the competitive grand piano keys players to be like, this Bishi Bashi thing next to it is way too loud.
Can't hear the damn Grand Piano Key.
I need the key feedback. I really...
They actually also repurposed Beatstream cabinets. They're nostalgia cabs.
Yeah, now they're nostalgia.
But I guess that's a little more obvious because they actually sold conversion kits for those.
Yeah, I don't think they're probably not gonna convert MUSECA because like the button board is just like completely different, and the monitor is just like, it looks like they just took the vertical monitor on MUSECA and just turned it
rotated.
sideways.
Yeah. It's fun.
So yeah,
Rip Musica.
yeah, and rip Beatstream. Though I don't think anyone really cared.
Yeah, they scavenged all the good songs from it and put them out to other games, so I think it's had a good funeral.
It's fair. And maybe we'll get to play nostalgia one day. So far, it looks like bad Shunism.
It's not great.
I don't
It's
know. You played it?
Oh, you played
yeah,
it, right,
I played
yeah.
I played it last time I was in Japan. It's not really much like Tunism at all. It's
Could it have a rebirth in a version 2 or version 3, just like Reflect Beat did?
it'd have to like a lot of things would have to change about it, I think. I don't know. I didn't really play it that much because I was dissatisfied with it from the first round. So it feels too much like old Keyboard Mania, but with like less ability to actually understand what you're doing.
Interesting.
So-
Like I said, bad Shunism.
But the songs are good, so I was like, I have to give
Is
it a few
nostalgia at
tries.
KAC?
Yes,
Yes,
I
it
think
is,
so.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
Huh.
Because it's the 2 games that are out this year are MUSECA and Reflectbeat, right?
Yep.
So that means nostalgia has to be in.
Oh no, they have like 2 slots on the website. We're not sure if they're going to get filled with something.
Oh,
new.
they haven't revealed all of them? Or?
I don't know if it's like lazy programming to have like extra boxes that just say like KAC or something. Like they couldn't make a nice grid, but it's possible they're like gonna do some crazy reveal and be like new MUSECA game, and it's the next it's going to be in KSC or something. I don't know.
That's not without the
Beatmania
realm of
4.
possibility.
Oh yeah, just double Beatmania 2. It's perfect. What could go wrong?
I'm okay with that. I like doubling Beatmania.
You too. Speaking of which,
Oh, yeah. We also wanted to talk about this because Oliver had just recently done a great achievement in Beatmania. Go ahead, you want to say what happened?
I got Kaiden in double mode.
yay! Congratulations! Is clapping too loud for the mic? Maybe
We'll find out. We'll find out in post.
So what does that mean exactly for people who don't know what that means? Like,
Okay, so if you're familiar with martial arts at all, or anything with a ranking system, so Beatmania has a mode that you can play called class mode, where you can play a course of 4 preset songs, and they range in levels. So they've situated it so the what they consider entry level is Shodan, or the first belt, and they go all the way up to Tendan, and then they're followed by Chuden and Kaiden. Kaiden is the highest level course that you can pass. And it's meant as sort of a skill analyzer. So the higher the course you can pass, the better at the game you're supposed to be. It doesn't always correlate, but we like to think so.
And Sound Voltex has this too, and it's
Sound
called
Voltex
Skill
also has
Analyzer.
this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I put those 2 words together.
So it's interesting what the way that it works too is that you have to pass a Dawn level in order to unlock a range of difficulties in the game, which means it's kind of like an incentive to play your class ranking, and it feels really good to get a higher class ranking too.
It's kind of cool because you have like the emblem on your profile.
Yeah,
you can compare your scores with people that are the same Dawn ranking as you. They even give you pacemakers for average and best score in your Dawn ranking. So lots of cool things.
You said there's only one other person who's double Kaiden
in America.
There's
in America.
One other American
Yeah.
who has passed double Kaiden, and Grant Fredericks, and he's moved to Japan recently.
So you're the lone survivor.
No. So there was one other double Kaiden in America who's actually local, and he goes by Nobu, and he's been Kaiden for like 2 years now. I think he passed it the first time in Japan, but he passed it again at Eastridge.
Taking the title back to America.
There's 2 of us from America and about 500 from other regions. So.
I can't believe that. Oh,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
so they've had a lot longer with the game. Like, Americans haven't had good Beatmania access until like fairly recently, and I wouldn't even call our limited selection of round 1s good access.
Yeah, that's true.
I have to agree. Yeah, so we talked about this at like 2 or 3 episodes ago. We were talking about how we want this to come to DDR just because we think it's really cool.
Yeah.
I like the social aspect of it. It's kind of like a badge of honor, as we were saying. It's kind of a good way to push yourself, too. Because like you could be sitting at like 6th Dawn for a long time, and then you know what it takes to get to like 7th Dawn, the next level. Passing
also-
the Safari.
Also a good way to find like good rivals who should be around your skill level. Like,
Yeah.
you can try to fight them on scores or fight them on passing songs even, which is more decoupled in 2DX from actually scoring because the life bar allows you to come back from what would be a fail in any other game.
Yeah. The other interesting thing, too, is it kind of... We also talked a couple episodes, too, about sort of like standardizing a skill set.
Yeah.
And about how like there's some people that try for this and there's some people that try for that. And I think with the Dawn ranking, it kind of... It enforces that in some way.
You have to develop at least like a pretty well-rounded set of skills to pass any specific Dawn course.
And the song sets change from mix to mix, correct?
They do occasionally. So a couple courses are pretty stable, like Kaiden for double hasn't changed significantly in 5 or 6 mixes, whereas 9 Dawn on double changes pretty much every mix and is completely shuffled up.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They tend to have a pretty good mix of, like, I played 8th Down a lot on single because that's basically, like, my skill level on 2DX. And they tend to shuffle out the songs a lot. Gigadelic is always the last one.
Right.
But, like, they usually have, like, a scratch song. It's, like, the second song almost always. And it's just, like, consistently going to be a scratch song. So, they're never going to, like, not have one of those. And then if you're not that great at scratches, you can kind of get away with 8th Down on one mix and then... so they keep the songs to usually test something similar.
What would be the equivalent in DDR for that?
Yeah, we'd have like a crossover song. We'd have a...
Like
it'd probably be like a
change song or something.
Yeah.
You'd probably have like trickier rhythms, like a more technical side of things.
Shock Arrow.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
It's kind of
totally.
Well, it's interesting because there's not that many songs at very high levels that deal with shock arrows. So I don't know. I mean, it depends on. it's like, even I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, how would you even class? Like, what is Kaiden in DDR? Is it just the 419s? Do you have to pass them on life 4? Because like the interesting thing about 2DX's Dawn system is that you get a hard clear life bar, which is basically, it means if you ever hit 0%, you immediately fail. But that contrasts with the normal life bar in 2DX, where you can go to 0 and then build back up, and you have to pass with over 80%. But the hard meter on Dawn courses is actually easier than the hard meter in normal gameplay. It's a lot more forgiving. So there's really no, like, DDR only has normal life gauge, life 4, or risky, and those are basically the same thing anyway. So it's kind of hard to, like, they might have to have a new gauge system if there were to be a Dawn system, just because it doesn't seem like having the 419s, or I guess there's Endymion now, I always forget, having 4 of the 19s for Kaiden on, like, life 4. Like, I don't know if anyone would be able to do that.
What about score-wise, rather than life?
It's possible,
like you have to double A them all or something?
Yeah, it's, I don't know.
I think for DDR, that's probably a better indicator than passing, really.
I could see that, yeah.
Yeah. That like actually getting a decent score, because it's so much easier to mash through stuff on DDR than it is on.
You do have a limited set of buttons that you can actually, or sensors that you actually can activate. So it's like just
yeah,
mashing is easier. I don't know. Yeah, it's really interesting. I would love to see something happen, but I don't know what they would have to change from the 2DX like formula to get it into a good state for DDR. It'd be really cool. Like, I hope that I would be Kaiden. It's kind of like, it's scary to think, like, if they really loved, like, the 19s, like as the KAC rules sort of outline, I don't know if I'd be Kaiden. I had to, like, play them a bunch on life 4 or something. I'd just be like, well, I'll just be, like, 10th down forever or something.
Like, let's just raise the ceiling over what everybody is capable of actually doing right now, and then we'll give them something.
Well, I think, like, Hudson and Fefems and Chris could probably, like, if it was just 19s, they could, like, probably do it.
Maybe.
It's just
depends on what their requirements are for passing.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe the last song in the Kaiden course could be like a secret song that you can only play on
That would be pretty cool.
Has that ever happened in 2DX?
They have special courses you can use to unlock songs occasionally. So it'll be like 3 songs that exist in the game already, with some theme connecting them and the unlock song that you get to play.
They did, like,
but the song is known.
Did they do Shakunetsu Part 2? Was that one of them?
That was a special mode you could access in Pendule.
Oh, never mind.
But yeah,
they've done similar stuff with DDR, like in Max 2 when they had Oni courses. You could only play the non-stop mega mixes there.
Yeah.
Same thing on Extreme. Before everything was unlocked, you could only play PSMO on Legend Road.
Oh, really?
And in Supernova 1, they had Film and Fax Oni were only accessible in courses.
Yeah. Well,
or extras. You could also get them extra stages.
No, he's talking about Oni.
Oh, Oni, yes.
Yeah. Which I always forget that those existed in Supernova.
Yeah. Just no one could actually
do it. You couldn't actually play it. Like,
Kelpo could do it, but no one else.
Yeah. And then In the Groove had their marathon courses with in ITG 1 you couldn't play Liquid Moon except for on Energy.
Wow,
the
I
Energy
forgot about
marathon course. Yeah.
So it's not exactly easy. Probably not for people in that era, too.
No, but it motivated me to, because I really like the song, and so it motivated me to play mod courses more. So
that's kind of, there's not much left remaining. I guess extra exclusives, sort of, but, like, now a bunch of them are unlocked. It's kind of interesting. Like, I would love to see some sort of course mode come back for this purpose.
Absolutely.
It'd be
exciting, yeah.
That's one thing. It's been out since X3, if you can believe it. It's been quite a few years since we've had, like, an actual course mode in DDR.
Or even, like, not, like, non-stops, like...
Yeah, any type of courses. Could be non-stop or Oni or something else.
Anything.
Wouldn't it be so sick if they just, like, literally brought back, like, Legend Road?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
so
they could make a pretty serious Legend Road now.
Yeah.
Like, they could have, like... Because they had, like, Paranoia Brothers, like, in Supernova 2 or whatever. They had, like, all the different, like, the old Legend Road, the new Boss Rush.
Yeah.
All of that kind of stuff.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Oh, well. Like, it couldn't happen.
Well, I'm skeptical because it existed for so long, and then they, like, deliberately took it out.
Right.
And so, like, that omission is, like, I don't know, it doesn't make me feel good.
Doesn't bode well.
Yeah. I also feel like maybe they don't want people to play a 6-song set anymore.
Yeah, I've sort of felt. Well, I mean, it still could be 4 songs.
You just wouldn't be able to have the legacy ones,
right?
I think course mode with 4 songs is great. Like, I never wanted. People used to play like World Tour on Extreme.
Yeah,
it's like 9
I did that
songs.
all the time.
Yeah, you just get your money's worth. If it's like,
well, okay, with 6 songs though, does it really take that much more time? Because you're taking out all of the
they're not looking at like Konami's not looking at like the menu timers.
I wish they were. Every time I use the menus now, I'm like, how could they remove the number of screens that I have to go through in order to do this?
Yeah,
there's so much stuff that they could do there.
Yeah, I just think they're not going to try to say like, oh yeah, you can play this mode that lets you play 6 songs, and arcade operators are probably like, whoa, like that's going to take away my profits or something. They're not going to like.
I'd say 5 max.
It'd be cool though. I don't know. Legend Road. I'm bad at Legend Road. I don't want to play Legend Road. I can do that on stream and be bad at it there.
You could have a June course.
Oh man, don't you toy with my heart like that.
And then it ends with Paranoia Hades.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay, so real quick, I want to shout out a really cool guy on Twitter who just had an incredible accomplishment. So GINXYASU, I don't know if anyone is aware of this guy, but he has some of the most MFCs in the world, Japanese player. And he just got Saber Wing Expert MFC'd.
Oh my god.
Can we, like, does anyone know how bad that
It's
is? Like,
insanely off sync.
Yeah.
So the BPM's wrong. Like,
That's a good start. The BPM is wrong.
in the slowdown, it's like supposed to be a third of like 224 or something, and it's like 72 instead.
What?
And so it's like just wrong, like in every way, shape, and form. So it gets gradually later and later. And like I have like 20 perfects on it.
It's very hard.
It was picked by Chris like twice, and he picked the expert and the challenge in Idola last year, and I totally got bodied by it. And I'm just scrolling through, oh look, TL, whatever. And yeah, he's the first person in the world to get it, and I'm just like amazed.
So tell us a little bit about him.
Well, so Japanese player, he's been playing for a long time. He's been a KAC finalist. He likes Pokemon Go a lot.
Nice.
He's such a nice guy.
He's really nice. His English is pretty good.
Yeah, and he speaks like he'll like reply to like people's scores, like me and Andy, and I think even Roger.
Yeah.
Like he'll like reply. I'll be like, oh, I love your score. Great score. Like he's just it seems like such a positive person.
Yeah, I got to meet him at KAC this past year, and he's just like very, very nice. His English is very good. It's very impressive. I think he plays somewhere in Tokyo.
He plays on a red cap.
Yeah, and sometimes a black cap, I think. But he has a really like interesting play style. He's kind of like tippy toes still, but he's trying to break into like 15. He's trying to like get the 15 and 16 folders. Whereas like historically, he's been very much about just getting MFCs on lower difficulties. And I think it's like he's definitely motivated though by like Andy and Dalton and Roger and everyone. Like that's one of the greatest things about DDR is like the cross-country like collaboration and rivalry that's going on.
Yeah.
Like I think he's really, really motivated seeing a bunch of the Americans who have had access to ITGs, so like 15s and 16s are kind of cake. But so I think he's like trying to reach that level that a lot of people sitting here and a lot
there's
of
no
people,
reason that like if he's able to MFC 14s that he can't MFC 15s
or even PFC 15s. Like
yeah, I mean he's just trying to PFC the folder, but I think it actually like seeing his scores, he actually does get like within the 20s and 30s on like or like even 40s on some 15s, and I think it's harder for me to like recognize that's such a huge gap, but it is. If you didn't play in the groove that much, I think you just aren't that good at streaming 160 or something and being able to MFC it consistently. Like MFC runs, basically.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, it's really interesting that the competition has sort of like elevated the level in Japan as well. And
I hope it continues.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so like the whole international aspect is cool. I mean, he speaks English, but like so many other, international players don't.
Yeah.
But like if you see a score on Twitter, like the score speaks for itself most of the time, and then Twitter Translate doesn't really help most of the time.
Twitter Translate doesn't speak for anybody.
Especially with Korean, it's really bad.
Yeah.
But like you can look at the score and nope, that's the score that this person got. Like without having any other communication.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
send him a fave. Faves are translated.
Yeah.
It's binary.
A heart
Everyone
is
can
a heart
understand that.
in any language.
Is it Ine on Twitter as well?
No, I don't think so. I think It's only Instagram is the Ine.
Well, I thought Facebook is
Facebook
Facebook's like is
also does
Ine.
that.
Charles, what is it? Oh, it is?
On Twitter?
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's just the universal fave. It's Ine.
It's good.
It's good. It's good actually. Yeah, he said it was. He said it was the first time he's gotten the slowdown white combo,
Oh, wow.
and
Oh,
he was
wow.
able to get the rest. That's just incredible to me.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So give him a follow. He's GINXYASU on like GINXYASU on Twitter. Give him a follow. He's a cool guy. You'll see some good scores.
And if you're listening, omedeto.
Oh, omedetou gozaimasu. I don't know if he listens. That'd be cool if he was. What else should we go through?
Well, we were talking about Boss Rush earlier, so
Yeah. We were talking. Yeah.
Boss Rush 2. God, that's the tongue twister.
Bashi Rush.
It's Boss Rush 4.
Boshi Rush.
It's Boss Rush 4 is the hard thing.
Oh, it's the hard
yeah.
thing.
So we were sort of right before we were talking about, right before we started the show, we were sort of talking about Kaiden. Someone made a comment that like Kaiden on 2DX is the equivalent of Boss Rush 4 on Supernova 2, which I don't know if that's entirely accurate, but it got us thinking about Supernova 2 a little bit. And one thing I thought might be interesting for some episodes of Tap is if we kind of like do a little deep dive into one of the mixes and sort of talk about what it did for the game and some of our favorite songs, some good memories, some songs we might have lost, in the sands of time. And Oliver also is he basically started on Supernova 2.
I'm a baby.
So this is, I think, is a good time to we'll do a little deep dive on Supernova 2 and talk about some good things, some maybe not so good things about it, and how it's held up over the years.
I can learn from you guys, because Supernova 2 is about when I switched over to ITG.
And I think that's the case for a lot of people.
Yeah, I didn't really play it a whole lot either.
Yeah, the availability for SN2 was not ideal.
Yeah.
It seemed like most places that had Supernova didn't upgrade. Probably because it happened so soon after Supernova.
Yeah, so to give a little bit of context, Supernova 1 came out in 2005, and then Supernova 2 was 2006.
Well, Supernova 2, I think it came out in 2006. It was tested in 2005.
Yeah, Supernova 1
Supernova 1 was tested in 2005 and then came out in 2006.
I thought it was less than a year behind.
2006, new DDR mix.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Move over for Supernova. Okay, fine. You got me. I think
also, if anybody hasn't seen that video...
Oh, yeah, Google move over for Supernova. Or I'll just tweet at me and I'll give you the link. It's like absolute must watch.
We'll tweet it from the SFM account.
I don't think I've seen it actually. I think
Oh my god! I almost want to pause this episode so we can get Oliver up to speed, but I won't do that.
We'll edit it in post.
Yeah. So Supernova 2 also came out in 2006 then.
It came out in 2007.
Oh man. Okay, I'm a year off. Whatever.
Yeah, actually, I went to the location test of both Supernova and Supernova 2, and both of the location tests were in Chicago. And for Supernova 2, like we were really excited that they came out with another mix so soon after Supernova, because Supernova, while it wasn't perfect, it was the first new version of DDR in 4 years, and it was a lot of new content, and we were just like, okay, well, if this last one if it existed, maybe they're gonna make it better.
Yeah.
And so I went with Steve, Sharon, Renatalis, and a couple of our other friends. We drove from Ohio to Chicago to play it, and we were like some of the first people to get there in the morning, and we stayed all day. I think we went back the next day. But basically, the first things we noticed were Marvelous was enabled.
Oh yeah, first mix to have Marvelous enabled in normal gameplay. We could talk for hours about that. But
Yeah.
Even though Extreme also had it during location test, but
right.
Oh,
Okay,
interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, Supernova 2, the timing, the Marvelous timing was there, and there were like 40 new songs, something like that, 50.
Yeah, I think like 50 or something. Yeah.
And it was blue
It's-
instead of red.
And so, an interesting thing from like an operator's perspective is that, at least in America, they didn't sell. Or did they? Wait, did they sell upgrade kits?
They did.
Actual upgrade kits.
It was really,
But it was hard to
really
get them?
rare.
Yeah, like it was. A lot of times you see Supernova 2 cabinets they actually have like the decals on the side that are Supernova 2 because they were bought as Supernova 2 cabinets. Mm-hmm. But I don't think a lot of operators were able to get upgraded kits for Supernova, and they certainly didn't exist for to upgrade from older black style cabinets. So if
They did, actually.
I've never seen a US Supernova in a US Supernova 2 in a black cabinet.
Oh, I have.
Really?
Yeah, they definitely exist.
They existed, although there were very few of them.
Interesting.
Pretty uncommon.
I'm not sure if
this
it was
is shattering
maybe it
everything
was
I know.
hacked, or maybe Betson did something weird.
Yeah, that's very possible. Betson does some like under the counter weird stuff.
Yeah.
I could see something weird happening, but
Location test was pretty great, actually. We got to talk to Konami the whole time. It was just 4 guys. Probably Naoki Okada was there, and
Oh, yeah.
I think Yoshiko Ota, the guy who
the producer.
producer of Beatmania, was there, and yeah, we got to talk to them about charts and stuff a little bit, and we couldn't speak Japanese, and they couldn't really speak English, but it was good conversation.
Yeah.
We told them all the songs that we liked. I remember when we first were just scrolling through the song list and we heard "Why Not." We all just kind of flipped out. We were like,
I still
you need to
flip out
put
every
like
time I
10
hear
million
Why Not.
songs like this in there.
Yeah.
That was the first song I ever played on DDR, by the way.
That's
It's
amazing.
really
That was the one that caught my attention.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah,
walked
it's
on the
like
machine, I was
it's the rainbow banner, and it's
Yeah.
sounds like
Had a
happy as
comma
hell.
in there at the location test. It was
Yeah.
why not, comma. Took that right out.
Trust us.
I remember that night, Steve made the step file for "Why Not," and we uploaded that somewhere.
Nice. It's a great song. Some nice Darwin. I think it was the first mix to really feature Darwin, right?
Yeah, it was.
So it was like I think he like arranged a love. What's the song? Not a Love Like This.
A Thing Called Love.
Yes, A Thing Called Love. So he had a hand in that. He did. What else was from Supernova? I'm thinking of like Waiting for You.
He has
from
a couple
X.
aliases, right? It's like
DDT.
DDT.
Yeah.
I thought he did more in Supernova 2, but maybe not.
You said
No,
waiting
I think
for
that
you.
was it.
Waiting for You was an X.
Oh, that was an X. Okay.
I can't wait for the deep dive where we talk about X.
Oh man.
Remy Wiki has a whole lot of fun facts about Supernova 2. In case we all forgot, but introduced 0.52x and more 0.5 speed modifiers.
Oh yeah. That was because Supernova 1 still had 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8 from the extreme heyday.
Yeah. More fun stuff. A song's title and artist information is now listed in game.
Oh yeah, that stayed in since Ace.
Yeah, and the character cut kind of
The
animations.
cut-ins.
So does that still happen in Ace?
No, it
No.
doesn't happen.
So that was like in. I know it was in X3. Did it get removed? No, it was in 2013. Did it get removed in 2014?
It was very distracting. I think it was.
Well, it was really bad in X3 because if you were playing 2-player, like you're both on Darkest, the cut-ins would happen in the middle of the screen, like sort of in the middle of the column, but it would be above the darkness. Like the opacity was like
man.
1.
That's a bug.
So it just like all of a sudden like
somebody
you're-
screwed up the z-axis.
the right side of like if you're playing 1P, like the right arrows were like partially obscured by the character cut-ins. And they eventually fixed. I think they fixed it in 2013 and then took it out in 2014. Yeah. But
Like, we're not going to deal with this anymore.
yeah,
It
Yeah,
was
I
the
remember being 2014.
the last game where you could not select mods on Encore Extra Stage. At least that's what Remy Wiki says.
Wait.
Last Dance Dance Revolution game wherein a player cannot set options on Encore Extra Stage or in challenge mode. Is that right?
that doesn't sound right. You can't do it.
Well, you
You
can't.
can't do Encore Extra Stage in any mix, right?
Well, Remy Wiki's wrong then.
So
Unless they mean like it's forced to be 1.5 reverse every time, in which case I never got Encore Extra.
I don't know.
Supernova 2.
I think because Encore Extra Stage changed a little bit. They did like it used to be that you couldn't like it wasn't like it is in like for Endymion to Ace for Aces where it's just like it stops that song and like brings you into a new one right away. Where it actually like you went through song like you
Song
picked the
select
song,
screen.
like you went through the song select screen. Like you did that for Max to Supernova 2 at least. And then at least X3, I remember picking Unbelievable, which was one of the first Encore Extra Stages. So maybe that's what they're talking about. I don't really know. But-
It says a new scoring system is introduced, replacing the old one.
Oh yeah, how
Well,
could we
yeah.
forget?
Yeah.
Man, so
That's very important.
yeah, so the first mix, I guess, in tying in with the whole Marvelous thing, but like the whole Marvelouses are worth full points, Perfects are worth 10 fewer, and then Greats are worth like half, and now they're worth 60% in Ace. So Ace got another scoring
tweak.
tweak.
Yeah.
Um,
Because Supernova changed it so that you could get a grade of AAA, like even if you didn't actually AAA the song.
no. Supernova was still old AAAs.
Well, Supernova was still old AAAs, but Supernova 2,
Yes.
like
Yes.
Dalton said.
Oh, sorry, did you say Supernova 2?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I,
Yeah, Supernova 2, you could get
Yeah.
greats.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like the whole 990K became
no,
AAA.
yeah. Maybe I'm completely misremembering.
Yeah, Supernova 1 was like, it's very actually similar to Extreme in a lot of ways.
Okay. My brain is.
It's been a while. That's why it's good to go back and recap.
I swear people
10 years?
people like complained about like with Supernova 1, like, oh, you can't get AAAs, or
Yeah.
you can get AAAs even.
no, that
No,
was
that
yeah,
was
Supernova 2.
Oh man.
It was when the AAA just lost its meaning.
Yeah, people. If you weren't around back then, people were livid because it like. But back then, PFC, Perfect Full Combo, and AAA, the grade, were synonymous.
Yeah.
So-
But they did have the little yellow circle, though. Right?
Yeah.
Right,
They-
yes.
So they started like it was like AAA in Supernova 2, and then like you get a little yellow circle that said Perfect Full Combo. It actually, yeah, it will even like put the letters there of Perfect Full Combo.
Actually, I remember being mad about that, too.
Yeah.
I remember vaguely hearing something about that, but I was like, I
too
can't
new.
care. I was
Yeah.
getting B's. I was excited to get an A once in a while. So
One thing that's fun though is that they didn't have. I remember watching someone grind out Raspberry Heart on like basic or beginner like 40 times just to see what would happen if you got a Marvelous Full Combo, because that was the first game where you could really do that and see it
Yeah.
on the song select. And I was really disappointed because he like zooms in once he finally gets it and just says Perfect Full Combo still.
Oh,
And there was
damn.
no concept of like Marvelous Full Combo. Maybe they didn't think anyone would do it.
Wow.
Well, it was really hard.
It's very hard on Supernova 2.
Marvelous timing on Supernova 2 is just the most frustrating thing, especially if you go back and play after playing Ace.
Yeah.
You're just like, why are you giving me these perfects?
Yeah.
Like, I know that I'm stepping mostly on beat.
Yeah.
Was it significantly different from 2013 timing?
I think it was still harder.
I don't know.
Well, I think that the move from game engines, like,
Yeah.
there's going to be differences.
That's true, yeah. I
So-
didn't play enough Supernova 2 to really like lock in on the
It's
Marvelous
really hard.
window, but I did get my first MFC on Supernova 2.
nice.
So I got Freeway Shuffle Expert, which I was very proud of.
And that's why you earned the license plate.
Yes, I have my license plate as Freeway Shuffle, which is fun.
So speaking of which, what are some favorite songs from Supernova 2? Everybody bust out their phones. I was just about to mention Freeway Shuffle because it's a very good song.
I'm gonna bring up this list again.
Tomorrow
too, because it's
Perfume,
been a
which
while.
one is that from?
Supernova 1.
Supernova 1.
Yeah.
I like that
So
one.
I'm going to throw out a bunch here. So, Me Against the Music, it's one of the licenses that, it's like, what's a Madonna song, I think, and it was covered by Helen.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
I got the first PFC of that in the US.
Oh, nice!
At
Oh, the
the
location
location
test?
It really
Yeah,
was you
location
against the
test.
music.
So, my favorite things, which is like, yes,
Oh,
the
yeah.
sound of the
Of music?
sound of music. Yes, that's what it's called. It's like a remix of that with Allison Wade, who sings a thing called Love. It's just like a groovy. I don't know why it's so
And
good.
Sunkissed Drop.
Yes,
And Jeff, one of your favorite songs,
I have so many. Please.
Angelus.
Oh yeah, Angelus.
And Unbelievable, too. I forgot about that.
no, that's
that's
not. No,
the
that's
other
that's
Unbelievable.
the cover of Unbelievable. Y'all, Unbelievable.
Oh, jeez. Sorry.
Unbelievable
Tell you
Sparky
more about
remix
mine.
is
Yes.
from X3.
Which is not a remix of that song.
Correct.
Oh,
another song.
Oliver, please.
confusing. It's a loose interpretation.
We need a mashup of.
We do not. Please don't do that.
Oh, actually, yeah. that'd be
No,
great.
no, we don't. We do. No, that's not a thing that's happening. Sorry.
Oh, 2 months off. That was a good one, too.
Oh, 2 months off is really good.
I didn't like too much.
It was a really easy
It
chart.
was really groovy, and back when I didn't have like the capacity to do complicated rhythmic things, that was really fun.
Bloody Tears, which is a very good song, but not a good chart. Or it's a
also
very
from-
undercharted chart.
Yeah.
Undercharted.
So Supernova 2 still felt like in the mire of like still figuring out how to make good charts. Like they seem to want to push the difficulty envelope a little bit. You saw that in like a lot of the boss songs from Supernova 2, just to recap, like Pluto, Pluto Relinquish.
Pluto Relinquish, man.
Yeah.
The challenge on that on Supernova 2, it's just crazy.
Yeah, I guess just it's hard for the sake of being hard almost. It was wrong. It actually got fixed in a lot of ways
It was very wrong.
in future mixes. But like there wasn't that much in like the sweet spot of like 9s. There were a lot of like 7s and 8s, and then they had like the 10s, which were incredibly hard.
And they also just made some like really rash rating mistakes, like Paranoia Haze, which came out in Supernova 2, was just like we don't know what you thought
It was an
9s
8.
and 8s were.
It's an 8 on difficult, I think.
Yes.
That got re-rated to a 15 on, like,
I just got that a couple days ago.
yeah, that's nuts. Like, yeah,
It's a pretty hard 8.
Unreal's from Supernova 2.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a fan of Black Rose Garden.
That was the extra stage
Yes.
on, especially in location test.
Yeah. I think, it's either Encore. It wasn't Encore, right? It was just...
only
Encore
extra stage,
was-
I think.
Encore was NGO.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. There's so much... Well, I don't know. So, in my opinion, Supernova 2 hasn't held up that well. It's really interesting. I've read recently on a few forums and stuff that some people really love Supernova 2. And maybe, like, do you...
Hello, that's me.
So, can you explain your love for Supernova 2 to someone who may be a skeptic like me?
I think you'd have to really come into the game around that time.
Okay, you think the nostalgia
yeah.
factor is...
The nostalgia factor is pretty heavy with that one. Like, the boss songs, for the most part, are pretty adrenaline-inducing. Like, Pluto Relinquish, you guys are all kind
I
of
love
like...
that song.
It is a good song.
Yeah, like, the first time I saw it played, I was gripping onto the seat for dear life. I was like, oh my god, this is crazy.
Why do you need
But-
Konami original songs?
Well, I didn't know what that was back then.
Yeah, but
So-
you also had NGO and Unreal.
I pretty, like...
and Trip Machine Phoenix.
Okay, Unreal-
None of which are good.
Unreal was, like, all of the, like, I guess, not great players, like, that was the hardest thing to us for the longest time because it had so many jumps and the patterns didn't make sense to us, but...
I
It
remember.
still don't make sense to me.
I mean, yeah.
Honestly, I played Supernova 2, but it was the home version. I
See,
did.
you got a Turnus and
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And-
to this,
Can't Stop the Rain by Cascada. Oh, man.
Yeah, and there was a
There was
a gold
another-
frap song or
there
something.
was,
And they had like a weird mission mode thing where
That thing was
it was
really cool.
Yeah, there were some really hard ones.
There were some mission mode in Supernova 2 home version where they were like, okay, this song is off sync. You're gonna have to get Marvelous, and you're just like,
They just, like, changed the offset
Yeah.
of the song.
Yeah.
Wow, it's good training.
And there was stuff where you like had to play double or I don't
right,
know.
they had, like, mixed double mode, like, you had to play, what was it? You had to play a double chart as on a single pad,
yeah,
and
something
just, like,
like
mentally
that.
translate both pads to overlap onto one.
Yeah.
Volcano did that.
Yeah,
Volcano did
I
that.
don't know.
That's wild.
They were very, very difficult, gimmicky things.
Yeah.
What is it? BSGS? Big Stupid Guitar Songs? Like Volcano and Fire came from Supernova 2?
yeah. I don't really understand why Volcano was actually the the final stage in a location test where you
Okay.
had to play Volcano on final stage in order to get Unreal on extra stage
Okay.
in order to get NGO on one more
Right.
extra stage.
I feel like they were still in a phase of DDR's life where higher BPM meant harder.
That's
And
probably
Volcano
true.
is pretty high. It's like
That's
what,
true.
240.
240.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I hate Big Stupid Guitar Songs.
We loved them. They're like guitar music on this Guitar Hero knockoff.
Yeah.
Great.
So there's also the Groove Radar special songs.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Wow.
All of us collectively groaning. Okay,
Fucked up
so
bullshit.
Keep it clean for the radio.
we have a clean rating on iTunes. I learned that,
That's great.
which is not. Does everyone, no one report us, please. So they tried to do this thing. There were a couple like events that happened. One of them was like the Groove Radar event things, where basically they took old songs and they threw like one of the 5 items on the Groove Radar at it, and they made it like a special version. So let's see if I can remember them. AM3P Chaos Special, D2R Free Special, Brilliant to You Stream Special, B for You Voltage Special. We know what a pile of hot garbage that is. And
What about the double though?
even worse?
Oh man.
Oh god, I just get nightmares thinking about the double. And then I just had it. Dynamite Rave,
Dynamite Rave
Air
Special.
Special, which is the easiest.
And
NFC.
of course, Dead End.
Oh yeah, and then it culminated with Dead End Groove Radar Special, where they basically tried to max out the Groove Radar on everything. And when you do that, you get Dead End Groove Radar Special. So if you're earning one, there's a lot of
beautiful, just
effed up BS in that chart. You just
It's the only 18 that has not been PFC'd.
yes,
Other than, or no, Femscott and Devion.
yeah, many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chris has it as well. So yeah, like that. Think about that as a legacy of like Supernova 2 creating one of the hardest 18 to PFC.
in 2007.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been
And
10 years.
Basically as a joke.
Yeah, I mean, it's... Yeah. I wonder if they ever thought anyone would PFC it.
I mean, some people suspect that there's code in the game that,
That,
protects against the PFC happening.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw a video of Brosoni, like, 2 weeks ago, and he gets past all the hard parts, and then right in, like, the final speed up, he just, in the... He just gets a great.
Oh no!
Like, imagine if it actually was coded, that you
could
just
be.
get a great.
That would be the
it
biggest
just like
troll.
shrinks
Just-
the window progressively.
Yeah, just like every step, it's like if not great, like give a higher percentage chance of a great on the next
just
step.
gets narrower and narrower.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my goodness. It could...
DDR gotcha at
Yeah.
its earliest iteration.
Wait, gotcha or gamble?
Yeah.
Like gachapon.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Wait, what?
Gachapon?
Like with
the-
randomness.
Oh, I see
Yeah.
what you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a song.
DDR
sorry,
loot boxes,
I'm
sorry.
getting a little confused because Gotcha, the theme from Starsky and Hutch, is a
Oh.
song in DDR, and it's one of the hardest in PFC.
It's really hard.
It's like in 4th Mix Plus, and I have to get it on solo.
And
And
then
it's...
you meant gamble from like 2DS.
Yeah, so when you said Gotcha,
Okay. DDR loot boxes. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
okay. There we go.
That's
Sorry.
a very modern term that everybody should know.
Yeah.
I actually know Gotcha as like GACHA better than I know that, but
Right.
anyway.
Unrelated, but I noticed that Naoki Maeda's Twitter profile is changed before you have to. What does that mean?
It means he's always evolving. He's always
he always
coming up
packs
with more
two-
FWBS for us.
He always packs 2 pairs of underwear wherever he goes.
That's fair.
Oh,
So-
nice.
As far as like the legacy, like how well has stuff translated into like the Ace era? Do you think, Roger?
I find myself going over through the folder and not really stopping. Not really being too happy about playing any of those songs. And
Yeah.
which is kind of in stark contrast to how I felt about Supernova 2 at the time. I was really excited about it, and I liked a lot of the music. Some of the greatest stuff from that mix isn't in there anymore. Like the licenses aren't there, of
Yeah,
course.
I think the licenses were pretty strong, honestly.
Yeah. And Angelus wasn't carried over.
Please
And that
don't-
song's
don't
really
remind
great.
me.
I miss Angelus so much.
Yeah.
Angelus was actually the only license to get into X2. The rest went over into X, but then got removed right after.
And a lot of the feelings that I had about Supernova 2, like when I first played Supernova 2, I was really excited about being able to play Fascination Max and Fascination Eternal Love Mix in normal gameplay mode, which we couldn't do in Supernova.
Yeah.
But like as successive mixes came out, that became less associated with Supernova 2 for me. So like that part just kind of got decoupled, and I, now it's like it's just about the songs and the charts, and the Groove Radar special stuff. It's kind of iffy.
It's like gimmicky. Like I think one day I was trying to get the streams, AM3P Chaos, which has like weird crossovers and stuff.
Yeah,
in
it
it.
tries
also,
to do
like-
the same thing as like the original, but with 16ths instead of 8ths.
Yeah,
And it's got like these wrong green notes.
yeah. It's interesting.
Is that still that way?
Yeah, they're in the double chart at least.
Oh yeah, in the gallops.
Yeah, like some of the gallops are just
it's
like
they're
really tight.
one's green and one's yellow, and you're like,
Yeah.
why?
So if we got all the licenses are gone, and we got Angelus is gone, and we got
What's the point?
the Groove Radar specials, and if you kind of like discount those, then like what's left to me is basically we have Why Not, A Thing Called Love, Silver Platform, and Pluto Relinquish, and everything else.
And Freeway Shuffle.
Freeway Shuffle is so good.
There's some good stuff. It feels like you like Captivate a lot, don't you?
Yeah, it's good. Although
Poseidon.
The original Poseidon, yeah.
was Captivate from Supernova 2?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's good.
I feel like I don't. Maybe it's just because I didn't play it in the arcades that much, but like I don't go to the Supernova 2 folder that much.
No, I don't
like,
either.
There's not a lot. I'm like looking through the song list, and like there's Arabiata.
Oh yeah,
that's in there.
Oh,
like,
that's an interesting song to talk about because that was what did they call that, a 9?
Yes.
That was a 9.
That
They
was a
called
9.
that a 9.
That was a 9.
Yeah.
And I remember just picking that. I was so excited because we'd all heard the song on Papa Music, and it sounds kind of like Exotic Ethnic. So we were like, I wonder if they're going to do something like Exotic Ethnic. And we played it, and it was just like at the time on Supernova 2 with the impossible timing, you're just like, what are you doing? Is this a 9-footer? Like, it's so much harder than any 9-footer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's true.
It was also a 9 on double, and now it's
It's like a 16.
It's a 16 now. It's just crossovers like back and forth, like all across.
What
the
are they
pad.
doing?
That was, I wanted to pass that song for so long. I struggled for, God, I think it took me like a year after I passed Max 300 for the first time. It's like I wanted that badly because I was like, this is the song that I should shine at because I love crossovers.
Yeah.
But it's really hard.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I think it's one of the only 15s on single that is entirely made up of eighth notes.
Yeah, I mean, Unreal, if you can, like, in the slowdown, there are
you don't count the
16s.
slowdown.
Yeah.
But mostly, like, I think those two songs are basically, what is Hades? Like, Hades sort of has, Hades has a lot of stuff in the
Hades
slowdown.
has some 12 notes.
Yeah. I guess so.
Max 300. Oh, nope, 12 notes.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's
But that's what I'm saying. Is like
hard as 12 notes.
it's really 150 BPM 16ths.
Yeah, true.
But like Arabiata, I mean,
You could argue.
it's
It's
just
debatable.
but it's at that like range that's hard to cut in half.
The genre or category for pop and music Arabiata is Cyber Arabian.
Nice.
Nice, very cyber. Supernova 2 also gave us a new 10, which is Trim.
Was that home version?
That was from home version on Supernova USCS.
Ah.
I played it a lot there. But yeah, a lot of there was some stuff that was in like kind of previewed in the home version of Supernova that got ported into Supernova 2 Arcade, and that was one of them. Trim is, oh man,
That sure is.
I always forget about it.
that too. But I mean, it's a good song.
It's
but
a banger.
it just seems like they just missed the mark, in my opinion, on a lot of the charts. Like they were just like so close to being good, and like they were either like undercharted, like Freeway Shuffle, or a bunch of other
Bloody
things.
Tears.
Bloody Tears. Or they were like they went in the complete opposite direction and just made it way too hard, like for the sake of being hard. And it kind of makes you think like, were they too limited by trying to compete with In the Groove, which had just come out around the time? Like In the Groove 2 had been out for like a year or two at that point.
Yeah. I wonder how much that factored in, and I wonder, like, maybe it had something to do with who was working on the game.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of speculation after Extreme ended, and between the time when Extreme ended and when Supernova came out, that, like, the DDR team, everyone said that the DDR team had moved on to other projects, and the people who came to work on the new DDR stuff were all new people.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true. We could probably just compare the credits list if we really looked at it.
I think we heard the same thing about Ace.
Yeah, it's possible. But it certainly felt like that with Supernova 2, where some of those charts, a lot of the ones that came out in Supernova 2 or Supernova 1 were from home versions, or they were just like basically just songs they had lying around and they crammed them all into one mix.
Basically.
But everything from SN2 was new, and it was really inconsistent. So who knows what caused it? Might have been some kind of thing like a staffing issue or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think just the fact that Marvelous has made their way into normal gameplay, I think that's like an incredible milestone for the game. It definitely wouldn't be the same game without it. Like, it's kind of crazy to think now, like, with how... I'm using prevalent with air quotes, I guess, but, like...
No, you're not. They can see you right now.
Yeah, but I'm...
His hands are...
People on the podcast
imagine.
won't be able to.
Just imagine. But, like, MFCs are not, like, prevalent, necessarily, but they definitely... like, if you would imagine if Perfects had just, like, continued, if that was just the highest judgment, like, it'd be a much different game. It would be not something people strive for. I don't think I'd be nearly as interested. I definitely wouldn't be nearly as interested if Marvelouses hadn't made their way into normal gameplay. And so it's interesting that they like finally decided then to make the push after it being in location test on Extreme. What is that, like 5 years prior?
Yeah.
So, the fact that it took them 5 years to be like, okay, fine, this goes in normal gameplay. For whatever reason, they decided to make that decision and then ended up shaping the game in a very interesting way.
We lost 20 November.
Yeah, a lot of the club version songs got removed for some, like, Gentle Stress got removed in Supernova, yeah. It was like a
Supernova
few...
2. It's 20 November, Be in My Paradise, Celebrate, Dr. Love, Jam Jam Reggae, Ska Go Go, Gentle Stress, Jam Jam Reggae, AMD Swing Mix, and Beautiful Life.
Oh yeah, Beautiful Life being... Well, that's...
was a Supernova song.
It was a Supernova song that also got removed in Supernova, which is
One thing they did in Supernova 2 as well is that was like the first time when they started trying to fix some like broken 12th note stuff.
Yeah, I can't ever get a clarification on whether or not that happened in Supernova 2 or X.
Well, it
I
certainly
think they
seemed...
had the new songs that they added in Supernova 2 that had triplet rhythms, like Angelus, they used triplets for those, but I don't think they fixed much of anything until X.
Maybe that was it. Because I remember trying to get I'll Make Love to You, which is like 60 BPM and it's all 12 notes. And the fun fact, the slower a song is, like Bag, the worse the rounding errors were for the 12 notes. So it was like impossible to get on Supernova 1 or 2. So I felt like it was like, oh, it wasn't fixed, but maybe it was that it was...
I think that's wow.
Ballad for You. When did Ballad for You come out?
Supernova 1.
1?
Right.
I just remember at the location test, we were playing a few of those songs, and some of them just seemed drastically easier.
Interesting.
And, of course, this is just totally anecdotal, and
Yeah.
it was like 10 years ago, so who knows?
But maybe they got like part of the way there, or it was something like the newer songs had it.
Yeah,
and then,
that
The
could've
newer
been
songs definitely had it. I don't know. Some of the older songs were not fixed, though.
When did
So-
they fix Vanity Angel? Wasn't that X?
they did a lot of fixes in X. Yeah, like and that's less of like I guess the charts were like wrong and the engine couldn't handle them. And then they fixed part of those, like both problems separately.
Yeah.
But Vanity Angel was batched in with a lot of songs that actually got like actual note, like usually one-off note fixes. Zephyr Expert, Max 300, Vanity Angel, a bunch of others. So, but it looks like, yeah, they were like trying. There were still some weird stuff, like Pluto Relinquish was just like had rhythms that were just wrong.
Yeah, and almost every song from before Supernova was just totally off sync.
Yeah.
And they kind of fixed some of it in 2. But
Yeah, the
still, it was still
syncing
broken.
the syncing in Supernova 1 was very bad.
Yeah, and they kind of fixed some of it, but
They even patched it mid Supernova
Yeah.
1 to try and fix some of it, but
Man, it was a weird time. It's interesting that everything can be like patched online now, which is just like a crazy comparison back to when you had to ship out like an install disk, and hopefully the operator still existed at that location and cared and like was like, what is this garbage, and like just threw it out probably.
It has its pitfalls too, because now it seems like Konami is okay with shipping unfinished games too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the initial release, like Ace, remember all the problems that Ace had in the very beginning,
Yeah.
especially on White Cabs.
That's true, yeah. Basically all the timing was messed up, and then they finally, like a month or two, it was like the 420 update plays it.
That's right. Yeah.
That fixed it.
Yeah.
And 2013 was the same way. We can dive into
that's
those
right.
later.
Yeah, so the launches were they're a lot rougher now.
Yeah, that's true.
Supernova 2 was back, and X, I guess.
Supernova's launch was pretty rough.
yeah, it was
So
one of the worst.
I don't think
Oh, it was?
I don't
Yeah.
think it's a new phenomenon.
But it wasn't. I see what Buzzard's saying. That's not like. There's a difference between like timing. Like they didn't even seem like they tested different cabinet styles.
Yeah.
For Ace or 2013 or other things. At least like the songs may be a little bit off sync, but the game like didn't crash. Like 2013 had massive problems with games crashing on X cabinets. Just like like if any stage had a monitor, like in the background stage, like the players or the
Dancing
the
stage.
dancing characters were there, but there was a monitor showing like Fire has the 2DX video playing in the background. That could just crash, just crash the entire game. I played Go for the Top the first time and it just crashed. The
first-
like, well, can't play that, I guess.
It's the first DDR mix to use Windows, so
Which
That
one?
was-
X.
Well, yeah, X I don't think had many problems at launch. It just software
Think
problems.
about that for a second.
Software problems.
Save that for another day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, hopefully, I mean, if you guys like this sort of format where you just sort of reminisce about older mixes, we'll try to do it some more, and maybe some more controversial ones like X, or some fan-loved ones like Extreme.
Yeah, an extreme episode.
Dude, we got to make sure like there's no news to talk about because we'll just blab about how good Extreme is for hours.
I'd still really like to do an Extreme tournament someday.
yeah,
I mean,
well,
we could do one.
we could. That's
here.
easy.
Yeah.
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 We all have machines. Not all.
I mean, like
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
like
well,
a serious one though, like not just a.
Okay,
We should do a
let's do
serious
it.
one.
It's really hard to do extreme tournaments because of how good players are now. But
Well, you
There
random
are formats
Caprice.
that you
yeah,
can
there's
still, Random
formats that
Caprice
work.
with
Yes.
a pre-setup or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know. Well, I think that's enough about Supernova 2. If we want to move on to some questions from our lovely listeners.
You can always, you don't have to wait for us to tweet out the question link. If you have a question during the week, something happens to you at the arcade, or you have a thought at the arcade, just tweet at us and we'll hopefully see it. So, anybody see any good ones?
Well, I think we should go over Tap Set of the Week while we're looking through these questions.
This week's Taps of the Week?
Yeah. Well, no, the
previous set.
The previous set.
Thank you to everyone who submitted or sent their scores into us. I think Telperion's going to read off the names.
So we have Louis at Model FT2 Miracle, which I assume this person likes to play Ghidorah. We have Jeff at Lao Loser. Rad Rod also played the set at rad_rod on Twitter. Josh Hovanes, and he is one of those lucky people that got his real name as his Twitter handle.
Ooh.
So then we have Hopeless at phenomenal_TA, who played it on double. And, well, I also played it on double, but what's new, right?
Thanks to everyone who submitted, and let's do the taps. We'll give the songs for the taps out of the week.
Sure.
Well, we'll let Oliver kick this one off.
Okay, so to kind of tie into what we were just talking about, and I decided this actually before we decided to talk about Supernova 2 at all. My tap set of the week song is coming from Supernova 2. It is Vem Brincar. So
we didn't even talk about that, but it's a good song.
We didn't. And I'm glad we didn't, because now I can talk about it because I feel like I have more of an emotional attachment to it.
Okay.
It was just a really fun song with a little bit of rhythmic difficulty that I really enjoyed listening to more than anything. Like, I got into these games for the music first of all, but I really just like listening to the song, and it's complicated enough that it takes a little bit of practice. Like, you have to be fairly good to get a good score on it, but it's not fast. It's like an 11 on New Scale, I think, and it's really comfortable to play. The patterns flow really well on single and double, so I think my pick is Vem Brincar.
Nice.
My pick is You Are a Star, which is also not from Supernova 2. It's from X2. But it's a real nice song, and it's got kind of a tricky chart on Challenge. It's 13 on Challenge or 12 on Expert. And it's just a really good song.
It is a good song.
It gets you hype.
Speaking of getting hyped, though Jeff will disagree with this, my pick is La Libertad.
So my memory of La Libertad is I was able to PFC it on sight read.
Oh.
The Challenge or the Expert?
The Challenge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's not an easy chart to PFC.
I really like the Challenge, which is a 14. I think it's a 12.
I think it's a 12.
12
on Expert.
Yeah, the 14, I just felt like it was really predictable. So maybe that's why.
Yeah, I don't know why, but
really well
it
with
gets me so excited, like, just listening to the song. I don't know, like, it's not the kind of song that I think I would normally like, but for some reason, just the song and the step chart just go so well together, and it feels sort of classic a little bit. Like, it feels a little bit older than it is. It's from X2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It has gallops, which I normally don't like, but
they kind of work.
But they work.
They work pretty well.
I don't know. I don't know what it is about the song, but it's very fun.
It's very atypical. Like, it's not the sort of song you would think would fit, but it kind of does.
Yeah.
I'm less of a fan than other people, but I do acknowledge its merits.
Do you feel like it's pretty similar to like Spanish Snowy Dance and the other Latin stuff?
Oh, I prefer it way more than Spanish Snowy Dance. I definitely would play Libertad.
It's definitely easier than Spanish Snowy Dance.
It's also more fun.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just fun. I need to play it more.
Yeah,
it's one of those I forget about, but then when I like scroll past it, I'm like, ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, save that one for your last one, maybe.
I remember it having a pretty cute double chart too. So
I'll need to play that.
Yeah,
as well. When
my don't just my memory on X2.
When my ankle heals.
Oh no!
So
man.
Oh, do we want to mention the tournament really quick?
Oh yeah, so there's a couple tournaments coming up.
Yeah.
This weekend, Saturday, San Jose, California is we're having a tournament at Round 1. It's being hosted by the SF Evolved group.
Yep.
So come by and compete, or just come by and say hello. We're going to be streaming it as well. So stay tuned to the SF Evolved Twitch channel, and it's going to be up on there. We're going to have 2 machines this time. Not sure if we're going to stream from both machines, but at the very least, we'll make sure to put a lot of emphasis on the finals. And
I think we're basically going to have to stream from one.
And then top 16 will be from
top 16.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, we'll make sure to hold top 16 all on one machine so that everybody can watch.
Maybe,
And
maybe
then
top 8.
Yeah, maybe top 8. Depends on
We'll see what happens.
how time constraints. And then Jeff's going to be commentating.
Yeah, I'm actually not entering. So I'm going to try commentating instead, because I really enjoyed the little bit I got to do at Irvine. But I basically had to do that while I was, like, not playing a match. And I think it would be really cool. Like, I think we were talking about esports a lot last week. And I think one really cool thing that a lot of esports have is, commentators and really able to give, people that are really able to give the context around players and, in this case, songs and charts, so that it's, as a viewer, you have a lot more understanding of what's going on, or like, is this like a rivalry that's been going on for a while, or these, have these people ever played the song before? You can kind of get that knowledge and watch in a more enjoyable way. So.
It'll basically be a live tap episode. So come join us in the chat
man.
room.
Live and very long time.
Yeah,
so.
I'm likely not entering either because I still have ankle pain from making the mistake of running 3 weeks ago.
Don't make
classic
that one.
mistake.
Don't do that.
It'll be interesting having Jeff not enter, because that means that the top 3 is going to be less decided than usual. I'm looking forward to seeing who gets into the top of the tournament.
Yeah, so this will be an interesting tournament because I think we have a lot of the best in the country coming too. We have some good players from LA and one player from Texas, at least one player from Texas that I know of.
Yeah,
His best
Evil Dave.
interest and plans to come. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, he's not coming for sure, huh?
I'm sure he's coming.
I think he's coming, yeah.
Yeah.
Evil
Yeah.
Dave.
Evil Dave, yeah, very good player from Texas. Looking forward to how he shakes things up, especially with the Southern California community.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think anything could happen.
Is Sappy coming too?
I don't know.
Ah.
Oh yeah, yes, Sappy is coming. Yes.
Okay, if you're listening, Sappy, make sure you come. I really like. He does really well in tournaments too.
Yeah,
he's got
very impressive.
He's got a level head.
Yeah, but between Sappy, Roger, Jerry,
Steven.
Steven.
Oh, wow.
Damn! Wow, the call outs.
I kid.
Wasn't even a call, it's
I
like,
haven't beaten Steven at a tournament. Like, Steven and I, like, Ninja Far, for those who don't know, like, we started playing together in Fresno. Or rather, I had been playing for a long time, and he started playing, and then played every day for 6 months and got better than me. So I think the last time I beat him in a tournament was like 2010 or something. Maybe not. Maybe 2008.
Another amazing, consistent player. I was really impressed with his performance at Irvine.
Yeah.
He was able to. His stamina was just incredible.
He was like in the losers bracket and went like back to back to back to back to back and just
Yeah.
like beat a bunch of people.
Yeah,
Right,
and
that's really impressive.
He's been playing a lot of In the Groove lately, so his stamina
Oh, yeah.
should be even
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, this is stuff that I want to, like, commentary should, like, include stuff like this. Like,
Exactly.
I don't think new players realize how much old players know each other, like, outside the game, and, like, what kind of depth of rivalry they have with each other.
Yeah.
So, like, this is something that I'm still new to be honest. I haven't been playing as long as everybody else has. So, I want to hear about all, like, the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like
drama.
I think
Yeah, we
just
can gossip.
I think just about every tournament that Steve and I have entered, which it's probably like close to 15 tournaments, like we've played each other in at least 10 of them.
Yeah.
Like just the way that the brackets work out and our skill levels, whatever, like Steve and I just always have to play each other. I'm like, cool, now I get to lose to Steven again.
Hooray.
But I like that in tournaments that like I would much rather lose to somebody I'm friends with than like some random person I don't know.
Yeah.
Which doesn't happen all that often, but at least like friends that, I can have more fun with the match even if I know I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
So excited to see everybody. I mean, that's the thing about tournaments is like, it's just an excuse to get everybody together.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of which, there's another tournament where East Coast people will probably be getting together at Guac Underground Arcade Championship 2.
Oh, right.
The Game Underground Arcade Championship.
What did I say? Guac.
You said Guac
Guac Underground.
Underground.
Oh, that's Naoki's alias.
That's the California tournament.
So that's like a big, like, kind of KAC style in that there are many, many games going on tournament in Massachusetts. So at Game Underground, Google it. It's somewhere in Massachusetts.
It's in Natick.
It's a small state. You'll be able to find it.
Yeah, which is outside of.
Drive around a bunch.
Listen for the DDR songs, the stomping.
Yeah.
And then there's also Rumble in the Prairie 9.5 happening on November 17th. That's like an In the Groove tournament happening. Is that Urbana-Champaign?
Yes, that's Urbana-Champaign in Illinois.
Yep.
And they have it's kind of unique because they have In the Groove. They have 4 different tournaments they'll be holding that weekend. They have a regular single tournament. They have a double mode tournament. They have a couple mode tournament which will have its own pack of couples charts to pick from, and also a mods tournament, which is, I think, one of the things they're known for. So
Excellent. That sounds like
it's always exciting. I'm sad that I have to miss this iteration, but I'm going to Rumble in the Prairie 10, the big 1-0.
yeah, so that's the other one that's coming up.
That'll be in
like
March.
March.
Or
I guess
something.
that's way far ahead. But yeah, if you have any tournaments in your area that you know about, tweet at us and we'll mention it in the next show.
And as a transition into our question segment, we have a question here from Rod about self-hype rituals. So Rod's, I believe, coming to the tournament.
Yes.
He's gotten a lot of really good scores lately.
Yeah, great player.
He's been killing it. Another person from Fresno who I played with for a long time.
And he beat me at the Irvine tournament.
Oh, get wrecked. So just out of curiosity, how do you get yourself mentally excited for a tournament? Anybody?
I don't know. It's not exciting. Like, I mean, it's exciting, but like, I try to like keep as much of my, like, I try to keep a level head, like it's just another day.
Yeah.
Because the more I think about it being this pressure-filled environment, the more I'm gonna just like psych myself out. So I actually just kind of go into it being like, cool, this is a set that I have to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it, I think.
So my advice too is meet the people that you're going to be competing against.
That's a good one.
Actually talk to
That is
them.
actually really good.
Because like for me, I get really nervous around strangers, but if even just like a small conversation, suddenly it feels like you're just playing with friends again, and you know you're already used to doing that at the arcade anyway, so it becomes a lot easier.
Yeah. I don't know, do you guys, anyone else get like hype? Like, do you like try to amp yourself up? Or...
I usually try to amp myself down.
Yeah, I try very hard not to amp myself up. Like,
Interesting.
if anything, I try to make it like as close to a regular play session as I can. Like,
Yeah.
duplicate the outfit, make sure that I like
Yeah,
have
yeah,
like the same
duplicate
sort
the
of food and hydration. Just like
Yeah.
anything I can do to make it like a normal session, so I play as well as I do in a normal session or better.
Roger,
Yeah.
what do you put in your body before the tournament?
Well,
McFlurries and Monster Energy drink.
pretty much the same thing as a normal day. So that, pretty much.
Yeah.
I remember at both Irvine and the San Jose tournament, the last one, I stepped out a few times to like just to breathe and like meditate and stuff, just to calm myself down from just being hyped from the tournament. And a lot of times what happens is like, you know, you might do really well in a match, so then you start feeling really good, but that isn't always a great thing. Sometimes you just get overconfident or something, and you really kind of, again, to reiterate, return to baseline is kind of like a good
Right.
Yeah,
strategy.
I made that mistake last tournament when I had to play Roger, or maybe 2 tournaments ago. I don't remember, but we had to play the not Daikinkai. What's the other Despero song?
Dan Dan Do.
Yeah, we had to play that, and so I got like, I don't know. I wouldn't play down the very bad Supernova 2 cabinet because I was like, oh, what's this? And I like tried to like super hype myself up. I was like, yeah, like let's go. And then Roger beat me.
Owned.
But we're just gonna segue from one question to another here because
Let's do chain them together. Combo.
as Oliver said about keeping things the same. Miles asks, should I break in my new shoes at the qualifiers tomorrow or wait till post-tournament?
Post-tournament for sure.
I would say
Yeah.
post-tournament, yeah.
Don't change up too much right before a tournament.
Yeah.
It's kind of the...
You might also like give yourself blisters or something that would make you unable to compete in the actual tournament, and that would be real bad.
Yeah.
I agree.
Even if your old shoes are like falling apart,
They won't suffer from 4 more rounds.
as long as they won't like disintegrate while you're playing, I would stick with old shoes.
Yeah.
Stick with what you know, because sometimes you have to adjust. Like it just feels different.
Yeah.
So
I tend to keep you want to be practicing a bunch of. I mean, this is for songs as well. But you want to be practicing a bunch of different stuff, and like the week leading up to the tournament, you kind of go back to comfort zone. You go back you don't want to change. You don't want to like keep tweaking variables of like all the different independent things that are going on. Like just keep it consistent because you want to get yourself you want to have that same headspace for the tournament itself.
Definitely. All right. Any other questions? Let's see.
Yeah, we got a couple here. One from Verox on Twitter says, "How can a person on medium/basic advance to much heavier stuff? I have problem legs and overweight. DDR gives me the constant motivation to do better, but I want to do it safely."
It's interesting. I wouldn't want to give too much advice from a safety standpoint. None of us are doctors.
Yeah, we're not doctors.
Right, yeah.
Do what your doctor says. In that you probably keeping motion probably limited to a certain point in the beginning and then working your way up.
Yeah, I think as long as you take it gradually and don't like push yourself too hard. Just do whatever you're comfortable with, and if anything.
And if you're having trouble with the physical side of things, I would recommend focusing on accuracy instead. So you could still always shoot for a AAA or something on basic.
Yeah, that's true.
There's feels like a lot of push, like a lot of people just naturally try to push themselves into the harder difficulties. But yes, there's something to be said about staying where you can pass reliably and just improving your timing.
Yep.
Yeah, and it'll help you pass harder stuff later on too, because you will have more familiarity with what it takes to move your feet with control. So.
And there's a couple of basic techniques that you can also just practice without moving on to standard or expert. Like remembering to alternate feet is one thing. If you're starting on basic, and trying crossovers and just stuff like that.
And also getting acquainted with the charts before you try to play them also helps, because you won't be surprised and try to force your body into doing things suddenly that could cause problems.
That's true. Yeah. So there's another question here from Kevin Turner, Kevin Xwell on Twitter, basically saying, like, last week we were talking about esports a lot, and, like more consistent rules for casual and competitive play, but however, do you see any room for more gimmicky ideas, special rules, new songs, revealed at tournaments, routines, etc.?
I really like the idea of new songs being revealed at a tournament.
That'd be really cool.
I remember when I was a kid watching The Wizard, the Nintendo movie.
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, this movie that made in like the early 90s or late 80s, and this kid goes to this Nintendo tournament, and at the very end of the tournament, the main event is they reveal Super Mario Bros. 3.
Oh my god.
And no one has played it yet, and it's brand new. And I remember seeing that, and it just like sent me into this like insane hype level. And like, if we saw at KAC, they just come out with like a new boss song, and like it wouldn't even need to be that hard, because all they would have to do is like a straight up like normal 18 that no one has ever seen before, and that would test people's skills pretty well, I think.
There's precedent for this too. KAC, I forget whether it was the 2 ago or 3 ago, but whatever mix Pendule was on, they revealed the final song of Pendule as the final song in the 4-song course that the 2DX finalists had to play.
I would love
Chrono Diver Pendulums.
Wow.
Everybody
It's a sight read for everyone.
And it was such a good song, and the chart was so it wasn't unlike everything that existed in the game, but it was very, very different from all the hard 12s that had existed to date. And everybody went wild.
I would love to see that for KSC this year.
Did they know that going in?
They knew that there would be a 4th song, but they had no idea what it was.
Oh.
So, and they had to put on earmuffs. So that they
man.
couldn't,
Oh, as other people.
yeah, they
That's
had
so
earmuffs
cool.
and face away as each person played it in turn.
Wow.
So
That's so
they-
cool.
Pure sight reads.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to do that so bad.
It was so cool. I remember like I was like just really getting serious about 2DX at that point. I was sitting there and just like live tweeting my reaction to it. I was just like, oh my god, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, we are definitely down for something like that.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm down for like gimmicky stuff like routines. Like that sounds more like freestyling, which is just different than
Yeah, I don't care
score
about that.
Yeah, go play Pump if you want routines.
Go to the tournament Rumble in the Prairie and play in the couples tournament.
Yeah.
Would there be any like special rules that you could?
Well, I mean, they could do something like, this KAC, we're having the final match be a course of like, like we were just talking about. Something like that.
rather
where-
than like picks.
Yeah,
Specifically.
something like that.
Yeah, I don't think there would be any, like, I always, whenever you start talking about mods, like putting, everyone's on sudden now, like, okay. Like, it kind of like, because one thing that's really interesting is that no one wants to see players so out of their comfort zone that it, like, becomes embarrassing, which is what happens when you start forcing, like,
weird stuff.
weird stuff like that. And so, like, it actually, from a spectator standpoint, I think it becomes really uninteresting when
It's just people screwing up.
yeah, it's just you're constantly messing up, and
Yeah.
it's like it's not actually like it's like no, these are the best players in the world. You want to see them do something impressive. I want to see the
a really
best
good
that
point.
they can do.
Yeah, I feel like there's really no parallel in any other sport or esport to like imposing arbitrary rules.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
make things
Yeah.
harder for the.
There's no soccer match that suddenly has like a ring of fire up to the
Yeah.
center, and you have to
Yeah,
like
or
jump through it.
or like
that'd be
small,
awesome, though.
smaller goals, or
yeah, the goals are really tight.
yeah, yeah. Or basketball hoops with trampolines. Oh wait, they actually had
Oh
that.
yeah.
Wow.
Don't you have to like sight read golf courses sometimes? Like
Yeah, personally, I don't like any of that stuff because I think that just more and more draws away from like what DDR really is as a game. It's like
which is just memorizing
mean-
everything.
You mean like none of it? Not even like a new song?
I think that it emphasizes the fact that there's like one corporation that's controlling it. So it's like it would be nicer if it was more like this is what the players can do, and this is how they. It's like it's not so much an emphasis on the content. It's like the skills that are exhibited.
I do like the idea. Like I think a new song, even though it's like yes, KFC or something that's like controlled by Konami, but having a new song revealed lets you add the sight read element, which is an important part of skill.
That's true.
I think as long as you like keep it within that range, rather than being like you have to do everything on stealth.
And it couldn't be too hard either. Like Jeff was saying, it couldn't be like a 19 with like a zillion stops and
Right.
I just
That just wouldn't be like trying to sight read Egoism Challenge or something.
Yeah, no, it would just be frustrating. Like, no, I don't think, like, me personally, I would never want to see someone have to go through that on a world stage. That just, like, it's almost insulting of, like, oh, look, haha, we put a bunch of gimmicks in it, and, like, you are expected to know it right away. Yeah, like, it's funny when it's in, like, Encore Extra Stage. It's not so funny at KFC.
I mean, like, even, like, in Demion Challenge, like, the speed-up run would be...
Yeah, you just have to mash that. You know, I mean, that's, like, reasonable-ish.
Yeah,
but
it's more
not
reasonable.
for a sight read.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that 2DX did benefit from is the 2DX's difficulty doesn't come from BPM gimmicks most of the time. Like, that chart, Chrono Diver Pendulums, is just one flat BPM the entire time.
And it's hard. It's just hard.
And it's just hard. It's just dense. The rhythms are tricky. Whereas for DDR, like all of the hard charts that they put out these days have BPM gimmicks because that's part of what makes them hard.
Yeah.
So sight reading those is much more difficult to balance.
And I think we had one last question here. How can you tell, and I think we've addressed this before, but how can you tell if you were using a good technique when staying in the circle of the pad to help conserve energy? And I think the answer to that is have somebody record you. Record your feet, just try to be aware.
Absolutely. Recording is really great because you can actually see yourself and what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, you might be able to pick up one of those, the bendy camera things and, mount your phone on it and put it on the machine, like, in front of you and point at your feet.
Yep.
It's probably the easiest way to do that where your phone won't get stolen.
Yes, be confident that you're in a good area.
Better than putting it on a table behind you with nobody else around. But, I mean, if there's...
what I do.
Yeah. If there's other people at the arcade, or, if you have good players in your area, ask them for feedback.
Yeah, but at the same time, I wouldn't stress about it too much. Like, you will naturally become tighter and tighter over time in terms of, like, how close you are to the center panel. And so, like, if you are doing 15s or something right now, and you're, like, thinking ahead, like, oh, I won't be able to do egoism with my technique, like, hold it back. Just work your way up. Eventually, you'll learn about the minimum movement that you need to get to a panel and keep it there and nothing more.
Sorry, and that question was from Zephyr101.
Yeah.
Twitter.
We did taps out of the week. I think we
kind of went out of order this week, but that's okay.
We don't have an order. That's fine. We're just having fun.
Hope you enjoyed. Continue to give us feedback on social media and let us know what you think about the episode, and also post your scores for Taps of the Week.
Yeah, send it to us. SF_evolved.
Yeah, SF at SF_evolved.
I'll try to retweet them.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll RT.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for listening, and
thank you for playing.